It's the most controversial time of the year. The major awards are being announced this week, and it's where the football world discusses who the best players in the AFL are. Everyone has their own opinions, and when it comes to the All-Australian team, it doesn't get more heated. It's one of the toughest years to make the team, especially with the depth of talent in defence and massive midfield stars. But with close attention to each player, some team balance in mind, and with some statistical help, this is the Sporting Eyes 2023 All-Australian Starting 18. If you disagree with a player in the Starting 18 or think anyone is unlucky, make sure to put it down in the comments below. Starting at the full back line, we have Hawthorn captain James Sicily. He has backed up his great play last year and is currently the number 1 rated key defender in the game. Hawthorn is a completely different side when he isn't there. He's number 1 for disposals and number 2 for intercept possessions as a key defender. He can come off his man to spoil, use his penetrating kick to rebound, and can win the ball back at ease. Next to Sicily sits Geelong star Tom Stewart. Originally Sam Taylor was fixed in this spot, but with him missing against Carlton, Sicily becomes the fullback and Taylor makes way for Stewart. He leads all medium defenders for intercepts per game and is 3rd for contested marks. Trying to get through Stewart is a mystery for every team, and you don't want him with ball in hand too, as he is kicked at 82% for the year. The final fullback position goes to Dan Houston, who has had a career year. The goal against Essendon was iconic, but don't let it overshadow Houston's importance to Port Adelaide. He's the number 2 rated general defender in the competition due to his well-roundedness as a defender. He's top 5 for score involvements and score launches as a medium tall, and has shown his importance in creating scoring chains for the Power. The first half back is obvious. Nick Dacos has become an on-baller of late, but did spend the first half of the season primarily in defence. He's a top 10 rated player, and probably Collingwood's most important for their quick chain and ball movement play. He's chipped in with 18 goals and had a plethora of match-winning performances. His teammate and captain Darcy Moore is the centre half back. He has dropped off and is now hurt with a hamstring, but for 80% of the season he was a lock in the team, and this hasn't changed. Sure, he can get goals kicked on him, but his sheer rate of intercept and score launches makes him so unique. He can come off his man to cover others. He is top 10 for key backs in intercept possessions, intercept marks, score involvements and disposal efficiency. He is a serious weapon out of the back half. The last of the defenders is St Kilda dynamo Jack Sinclair. His speed and creativity out of defence makes him the number 1 rated medium defender. He can also have bursts in the midfield to get the Saints going, but his 29 touches a game always looks to create scores. 5 score involvements a game shows the damage Sinclair does to the opposition. We move to the centre line. On the first wing is Josh Dacos. He's having a career year and fits perfectly in Collingwood's setup. 26 disposals a game and 16 goals for the year is some of the best production on a wing in recent years. Like his brother, he has serious creativity and is extremely hard to tackle. Marcus Bontempelli stands in the centre. He's by far the highest rated player in the AFL. He is top 6 for tackles, clearances and contested possessions, and is alone in doing that. 19 goals, and the touch of class we know he has been balanced perfectly with toughness and winning the contest. He simply does everything you want as a footballer and is captain of this team. The other winger is Sydney star Errol Goulden. He's the league leader for inside 50s and metres gained. His penetrating and deadly accurate kicking makes him stand out in the competition. Even as a winger, he still tackles 5 times a game and often goes inside for spurts, averaging a solid 4 clearances per game. He had a big back half of the season and should poll very well on Brownlow night. The leading ruck in this team is Tim English. Rowan Marshall is a close second, but English is just a bit ahead of him. He's kicked 16 goals playing solely ruck. His 19 disposals a game come from leading all rucks in intercept possessions and intercept marks per game. He's 4th for hitouts to advantage per game and has performed as the most well-rounded ruck this season. The breakout season from Zach Butters has elevated him to one of the best midfielders in the AFL. His speed from stoppage situations is by far his biggest weapon and helps him get out to open space and create scores. He is 7th for score involvements, has kicked 13 goals and has career high numbers across the board. The last on baller spot was difficult to select. Neil, Taranto, Merritt and others have been great, but Adelaide captain Jordan Dawson is the one. He's been excellent as a skipper and transformed his game to be a top level midfielder. He leads all midfielders for intercept marks and is top 8 for intercept possessions, showing his defensive prowess. But his offensive play is high level as well, as he is in the top dozen for score involvements and inside 50s, showing off his special ability to lace out teammates in space. He is big, strong, well-rounded and a key asset of the Crows. At the first half forward spot is Melbourne star Christian Petrarca. For the latter half of the season, he's been stationed forward and has been effective. Petrarca's contested game and explosion from contest is still there, with his 6 clearances and 28 disposals a game elite, but his 27 goals elevate him compared to other midfielders in the competition, and it's what makes him such a dangerous player. Centre half forward is Taylor Walker. He's the second highest rated key forward, and for good reason. A huge 76 goals is impressive for anyone, let alone a 33-year-old. He's second for score involvements as a key forward, with his field kicking once again a unique attribute that not many others possess. He's top 10 for goal accuracy and rarely misses chances that are on the run or set shots. The last half forward is GWS captain Toby Green. He's by far and away the highest rated general forward, with his goal tally of 60 off the charts. But Green can get up the ground and roam too, with his 18 disposals a game, leading to placing first for score involvements and third for goal assists per game in his position. Green can beat you in the air with his football smarts, but his roving and ground game makes him impossible to contain for a full match. His leadership is clear and he's the vice captain of the team. The full forward line was difficult to pick, but the premier small forward of the competition is still Charlie Cameron. He's kicked 50 goals yet again and fits perfectly in a high-powered Brisbane forward line. He can outmark his opponent on the lead and beat them inside 50, being top 7 in both marking categories for medium forwards. And we all know his best weapon is his pace, which he can use so well when isolated in his forward half. The full forward is Coleman medal winner Charlie Curnow. He's backed up his previous season's performances, looking even more dominant. 78 goals leads the league, but his contested marking and spark has lifted Carlton throughout the season. He's second for contested marks per game and first for score involvements per game as a key forward. He's the complete package as an athletic power forward. The last spot in the final 18 was the hardest to pick. Another midfielder like Connor Rozee could have fit in, or even another medium in Kyle Langford. But Nick Larkey has had a superb season as the only focal point for North Melbourne. He's third for goal kicking at 71 goals in one of the bottom teams in the competition. He has kicked over 4 goals 8 times this year, and it's hard to see how North Melbourne would score without him. If you placed another midfielder ahead of him in this spot, it would be hard to disagree with, but with all the variables around him, Larkey has been a star this season. So this is the final 18, and once again, let me know what you think, and I hope you mostly agree.